Yo, what is up, guys? It's Phantom here today, and today we'll be talking about motion inputs. This has kind of been a debate that's been going on recently because a lot of fighting games are starting to lose what motion inputs are. Now, again, for those who don't play fighting games and think I'm talking nonsense, I have hold up, that opened OBS. The fighting game glossary. I'll leave a link down to this website below because they have every fighting game term you need down here on this website. No, this is not a sponsored thing. It's just I understand that sometimes when you hear your favorite content creator that talks about fighting games, you don't understand shit they're talking about. But basically, any special move command that requires a multi-way joystick input without any charge time. This is just a way to group the quarter circle, half circle, and DP motion and 360 input in a nice package. Characters that use these commands for their special moves might be called motion characters as opposed to charge characters. Now I bet you're like, what the hell does any of that mean? Well, I'll explain this to you in my terms. Ryu from Street Fighter. To do a Hadouken, you need to flick your analog a certain way, press heavy attack, and there's a Hadouken. A Shoryuken, flick your analog stick a certain way to get to pull off this move. And the same thing vice versa with a lot of special moves. Now, can this be complicated for someone who is not a fighting game fan? Yes, it can be very complicated for them. But, certain directional input you need to do special moves. Now, what is a charge character? And this is all going to come back to what we're talking about. Just going to click into here. A character that relies mostly on charge input to execute their special move. There are some charge characters that have quarter circle input for some motions. So not every special move needs to be charge command. But usually their most common essential special moves will be by playing a charge character. A charge character usually feels a bit different than a character with motion input, since you will have to find creative time during a match to sit still and to build your charge. This is often including hiding your charge while you are doing normal attacks. As a result, some players who prefer to move around a lot can be difficult time to this playstyle, while it comes to quite naturally to others. I actually have no example for a charge character. If there are examples, please write them down in the comments below. So, what's the debate about this? I'm about to say, we've been this way for forever, since all the fighting games, right? A lot of games are starting to get rid of the motion inputs. So, the new Invincible game is a big example. They said that you will have the option to use motion input, but it is not required to do a special move. You'll be able to press a certain button and it'll do the special move automatically. So it's basically taking away the challenge and/or creativity of using motion input at the right time, or just generally using that. A lot of hardcore or pro players don't like this, and I understand why. Imagine you sat there and you learned, okay, well, you can use a guitar, right? And you know the certain way that you need to use your guitar, you know how to string it, you know how to use it. Imagine they create an easy control guitar where you just press a button and it plays a note. You don't have to strum it a certain way, you just press the button and it strums automatically. It kind of takes away the creativity, and it kind of makes the pro players feel like that's not fair. A big example of this in fighting games has been the easy controls in Street Fighter that's been implemented. People kind of feel like, oh, we had to learn how to we had to learn how to parry using the analog stick, or we had to learn how to do this Hadouken not with one button. We had to learn how to do the motion controls. My thoughts on this is that I'm in the middle. I'm somebody who's been playing fighting games since they were about 5 or 6 years old. Yeah, I was that young playing like Street Fighter Collection and Street Fighter Hyper Turbo HD. I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom at a very young age. I was playing these games for a while, so I know the ins and outs of them when I have to learn them. And trust me, there's tons of examples. You can go and look at any live stream recently where I've been playing a bunch of fighting games. And the one thing we all kind of agree on is that, yeah, motion controls are kind of needed, and yeah, we understand that we need shortcuts sometimes to play through these games. I feel like having the option to switch between, because you'll look at stuff like Marvel's Capcom 1 gave you options when they had manual and easy. You still had to learn the inputs with easy mode, but they had something for beginners, and for more pro players they had manual. It's an easy thing to switch between, and I know I'm not showing much examples because this is just a video to get my opinion out on it, but like, there's a difference. If you don't give me the option where it's just easy inputs, I'll admit I'll get bored. One example where I think this was implemented a little bit better is Power Ranger Battle for the Grid. Yeah, they gave you the option, but at the same time, if you were a pro player, it was hard to master, so you have to learn to put in the simple inputs and everything. A big example of simple input that works, in my opinion, is Smash Bros. Because you can just flick the analog stick, I think the right analog stick, and you do a smash attack. That's your big grandiose attack, and you can do it with a flick of the analog stick. No input, no other button, just the right analog stick in any direction. So up, we'll do an up smash, right smash, left smash, and a down smash will pretty much, you know, it's the end of the game at that point. And yeah, that's where a lot of players are like, yeah, Smash Bros isn't a fighting game because you can do easy stuff like that. But I feel like if it's for beginners and you have the option to switch it on and off, I don't really see the issue with it. But I understand that pro players don't like the simple inputs because it's starting to make games not have the creative edge that it used to have, not have the creative challenge that it used to have. And it's ridiculous to say, but yeah, me myself, I'm like, me personally, how I play the game, I don't really like simple inputs. I like learning through using, through the motion input. That's how I got better with fighting games. Is that, yeah, at first I didn't know how to do a Hadouken when I was a kid, but over time, as I learned how to play a game, it became muscle memory. Muscle memory. A lot of these games are. Scorpion's throw in Mortal Kombat with the spear motion, that became muscle memory. Teleportation with Melina for Mortal Kombat, muscle memory. You learn from these games from just playing them, and I feel like when you add the simple controls, you lose that oh, this is how you do this is how you do that. But that's just my thoughts on it. Please comment down below, should motion input be, gone? Should it just be an optional option? Should easy input not be implemented in games? Yeah, I gave you guys a full-on definition. I'll leave the link down below if you guys want to read the definition for yourself for what is a motion input, because some of this might be sounding foreign to you. It might just sound like I'm just saying random words. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Let your heart be your guiding key. Peace.